Hi chaps. When I'm not exploiting poor people to make myself richer at the expense of everybody else, I like to watch West Ham United. Hi gang, welcome to Mike on Monday, the West Ham show made by a bloke called Mike on a Monday. And surely I would have thought that after a 1-0 defeat at Man City, which could have been far, far worse, let's face it, and a 2-0 home win against Newcastle, to paraphrase the late great Pete Shelley, surely everybody's happy nowadays.
I'm Marty, I bang the ball, it's a load of rubbish. West Ham, only 2-0 against Newcastle, ridiculous, you should have beaten them 5-6-0, they're shit, that's what I say, they're shit. And why do you say that team? Carroll, rubbish, shit against City and City, they're rubbish. You know it? And another thing, why is everyone so fucking negative?
Yeah, we did lose at Man City, but it could have been far, far worse, especially when we played Andy Carroll, the lumbering wardrobe of a centre-forward up front. And it was obvious, I think, to most people that Pellegrini decided to sort of play a slightly weakened team, i.e. kept a lot of players to one side, Hernandez, Snodgrass, Etel, to make sure that they were fit and ready to go on Saturday for a game he saw as very winnable against Newcastle. And do you know what? He won. West Ham won 2-0. Now, one of the things that was built up in that game was the battle of the young English midfielders. Those midfielders being Declan Rice and Sean Longstaff. A lot was made of this by Newcastle supporters. Obviously, Longstaff didn't score and Declan Rice did. Longstaff was fairly ineffectual in midfield, and while Declan Rice ran the show, Longcock was substituted after at half time because he was that ineffective, and Sean Hughes-Wanger was made to look a bit of a dick by his own supporters.
Tell you, Declan Rice, go back to Ireland, mate. Run along, run along. We don't want any Declan Rice. Declan Rice! Sean Longstaff, no problem at all. He knows it, he knows it, he knows it, he knows it. He knows it, baby. Declan Rice. Knee woo for you, son.
But let's not get daft about this. They're both great young players, and they both will be playing for England hopefully in the future, and I think there's a lot to be said for both of them. But obviously that game was run by Declan Rice. Way for us. Yay! So that's 2 games for us to look at tactically this week with Mike at the Tactics Centre. Mike, what have you got for us, mate? This week at the Tactics Centre, we're going to look in detail at the defence at West Ham United. In the last couple of games, despite conceding to a dodgy penalty in Manchester City, West Ham have defended like beasts. Both Diop and Ogbonna have performed exceptionally well in the centre of defence, with Fredericks and Cresswell or Johnson or Masuaku performing admirably at left back. This has essentially created a large wall of muscleness in front of the West Ham goal, which most teams, especially Newcastle, failed to penetrate in the last game. So this week, West Ham lost 1-0 away at Manchester City, which some people saw as a near victory, and then actually won at home 2-0 to Newcastle. For an attacking manager, Pellegrini certainly has improved West Ham's defence. Back to Mike at the studio. 6'2", eyes of blue, Billy Bonds is after you, and I think West Ham did a pretty good job of celebrating Billy Bonds' huge career with West Ham, 799 appearances, and it's a great idea to name a stand after him. Obviously, I'm still after the Mike on Monday toilet, but I'm hoping that you guys have started the petition and got that rolling. But back to Billy Bonds. I never got to see him play. I know I'm old and all that, but I'm not that old. And I never got to see Billy Bonds play, but I did see the team he managed, West Ham. People forget he managed West Ham. My abiding memory of him as a manager was not him, this bit. It starts with us losing 6-0 on St Valentine's Day in the semi-final of the League Cup away at Oldham on their plastic pitch. I was at that game, and it was a truly awful game, and we were under Lou Macari then. 2 weeks later for the return leg at Upton Bar, Billy Bonds had taken over, and we managed to win 3-0. That's one hell of a turnaround. He's a great motivator as a manager. We had a team, I remember, under Billy Bonds, that played terribly in the first half, would get a rocket at half time and then come out and win the game in the second half. He got us promoted to the top league, which I don't think was the Premier League. Well, I said top league as opposed to Premier League. I think he got us promoted from the second division to the old first division back then. And yeah, we always wanted half time to come at after 10 minutes because we would be terrible in the first half, then we could have 80 minutes of playing well. But yeah, it was a great motivator, probably not the greatest tactician on earth, but still a really good manager for us as well as a player. And not that I'm diminishing what he did as a player, because he was a classy player, but I will always remember him personally as the manager as well as the player. So I do think there is a real feel-good factor around West Ham at the moment. Lanzini coming back is a huge addition to that. He played 90 minutes as well against Newcastle. The guy, and he didn't look like tiring even. I think the guy's come back with obviously energy to spare. And it's fantastic to have the guy play his little tricks, flicks, running with the ball, and that sort of sense of urgency he gives our midfield has been really missed. I think we're all quite excited to have him back, and that adds the feel-good factor, along with the fact that, you know, we look solid. And that's what I think, but I wonder what they're making of this overseas, because, you know, we've got a lot of West Ham fans overseas, and one of our favourite contributors lives in Russia. His name's Mikhail, and he's based in Moscow. Mikhail, what have you made of happenings this week at West Ham?
Greetings from Moscow. Yes, and so. Hello to you capitalist pig dogs in England. You are Hammers of West supporters like me. Yes, and so. Recently I have been happy too, listening to 80s retro music from popular Russian beat combo, the Vladimirs. You know of them, yes, and so. Famous, make me jolly, like this. I listen to their hits such as Heaven Knows I Have Been Sent to the Gulag Now. What difference does a totalitarian communist regime make? And of course, censorship strikes again. Many happy tunes make me jolly. Now, West Ham, they beat Castle of Newness by 2-0. In Russia, we call that a hectare. Next, you have Cardiff and win for must. They're in Wales or Dolphin, I'm not sure. But you go there and you must win. I love chips.
With that kind of comprehensive analysis you will not find on any other West Ham show or indeed channel. Well, talk about channels, don't forget to subscribe to both this channel and the other Hammers Chat channel. They've got two. One with me on and one with me on sometimes when I guest on other shows. But this is the one with my show, and they've got another one, and they're both really sexy. Gio, super sexy. Gonzo, amazingly sexy. There's a lot of sexiness at Hammers Chat, people. And talking of sexiness, let's have a look at this week's show sponsors. Yes, folks, this week the Mike on Monday is sponsored by Bin Liners, and there's nothing more sexy than a bin liner. Look how black and plastic and shiny they are. You can put your rubbish in them, and sometimes you can use them to store other things, but most of all, you can rub them on your body because bin liners are sexy. Available at supermarkets and other good shops. Ladies and gentlemen, bin liners. Make sure you buy some for your rubbish and to line your bin, hence the name. And now, folks, time for my favourite part of the show, when I get to answer your questions. Don't forget you can leave a question for me by posting comments below in the comment section, or you can follow me on Twitter at WHUMike and leave questions for me there as well. Let's have a look what you've got for me this week.
Who is this tosser anyway? He don't talk about West Ham, he's not one of us, he just sounds like an idiot.
Thanks once again for all your lovely questions. Let's start this week with a question from A Fox. That isn't literally a fox. A fox hasn't got on a computer and tucked away. That's A Fox, the often contributor to Hammer's Chat on live streams as well. Often thought as being Alice Fox, but I have my doubts. Anyway, A Fox asks, I hear that people keep attacking Marx's tomb. Is this a communist plot? No, I don't think so, A Fox, because Marx was, of course, the main foremost building his philosophies, along with Engels, where most of the communist theory comes from. Don't get what happened under Stalin confused with Marx and Engels' actual philosophical musings, which are very different. That was a bastardization. Leninism and Stalinism are actually quite different from the Marx and Engels form of communism. Just to get that clear. So I suspect this is the right-wingers attacking that, of which there are, especially nationalist right-wingers, which are in alarming large amounts around all right now. If you're me, anyway, alarming. Not that I'm a communist, let's get that clear. But yeah, that hopefully answers that question for you. You can ask questions about anything. Obviously, normally it's West Ham based stuff. This is a West Ham show. Next question comes from Irons Man Roy, who I assume is a West Ham fan from that name. He asks, who do you think will win Hammer of the Year? Good question, Iron Man Roy, and that sort of question starting to come up now as we head into the home straight of the season. Who do I think will? Well, I think for my money it's going to be one of Declan Rice, Lucas Fabianski or Issa Diop. Now, that sounds a bit weird because they're all defensively based players, and we've only kept 5 clean sheets all season, but they have all played out of their skin pretty much right the way through the season. So that's who I would go for. Out of the attacking players, I'm not sure really. Maybe Felipe Anderson's going to get quite a lot of votes, but he can really blow hot and cold and go missing for a couple of games at a time. Maybe there's time for a late charge from Manuel Lanzini now he's fit again. Let's see what happens over the next few games, shall we? Next question is from Hammer. Oh, before I do that, who do you think will be Hammer of the Year? Let me know in your comments below. Do let me know who you think it should be. Or as I say, you can tweet me at WHU Mike. And Hammers 559161 has asked, am I going to get to another game this season? I hope so, Hammers 559161. Those who don't know, I do have a season ticket, but I haven't been to game for ages because I'm stuck up north for numerous reasons you don't want to know about. I'm currently residing in the dump that is known as Bolton. I will definitely be down for the last home game of the season against Southampton. I'm hoping to be down for the Leicester game as well. So we'll have to see what happens. It's to do with childcare and money really. Well, I have not been down to more. I did travel down a bit. I have travelled down from up north for a few, but anyway, there you go. And finally, if I do go by the way to games, I will be on the boats before and after, so make sure if you're not already well acquainted with the Hammer's Chat boats, you do go. It's a great place to go and mix with people and meet people of a West Ham ilk, if you like, if that's a phrase. I'm sure it is. Finally, Dave from Essex asks, I love it, Dave from Essex. See, from the sound of Dave in Essex, perchance. He asks, how many goals are we, he actually says, how many will we put past Cardiff? I assume he means goals as opposed to, I don't know, supple prostitutes or something. I don't think this is going to be as a foregone conclusion as everybody else thinks it will be, because when it is thought of as a foregone conclusion, we don't normally make that conclusion work, if you know what I mean. So I'm hoping that we stay focused, play as well as we can, which I actually don't think we have done recently. Even though we've been winning games, we could have played better against Newcastle and certainly against Fulham. Anyway, 2-0 I reckon we'll win that one, is going to be my prediction. What do you think, guys? Do you think it's a foregone conclusion, or do you think that they could surprise us and again we've got all surely marked down 3 points, won't go our way? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget, as I've already said, subscribe to both Hammer's Chat channels, and I will be back next Monday with the next mic on Monday. I don't know why I did that then. Next Monday isn't literally here, but I will be back next Monday. with a new mic on Monday for you. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave messages below for me at WHU Mike, or all else I can say is see you next week, guys. Come on, you irons. Mwah.